who here doesn't know what NavVis is or what NavVis does? Hands up. Everybody knows it. I can skip the first 20 slides, so, okay? Great. Okay, just a small recap maybe. So, what we're trying to do is, so first that is Nils, sorry, I forgot to introduce you. Nils, product designer, and myself, I'm Michael, director of product for reality capture, responsible for the devices and the processing software. So, what we do is we sync reality with the digital world, right? You want to plan based on truth and not on assumptions. You want to capture, if you make mistakes, and they always happen in construction sites, you want to capture them early and to reduce the effect of them, right? And you want to be able to simulate in detail and not just being very vague. So NavVis offers an end-to-end solution. Today we talk mainly about the LX-Series. So what you can see here is the NavVis MLX and the bigger brother, the NavVis VLX. But we have also like processing software to process the raw data, then utilize it in Ivion. There's where most of our users spend most of their time with, because you capture it once, but millions of people can see it, right? We have big companies where all of the employees can everywhere in the world capture, sorry, not capture, but see the data that was captured once. And then last and not least, to integrate into your third-party tools like Revit, Revisto, PointCap, etc. As I said, today we talk, that's the wrong presentation, okay? We talk about the NavVis LX-Series. Did you start the presentation? Or I?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's a wrong presentation. Sorry for that.
Oh, that looks like there's going to be a live demo. Are you guys into live demos?
We do live demos.
We do live demos?
Yeah.
They mostly fail, but we love them and we still want to give it a try.
Yeah, so let's skip the first slides. Okay, so we talk about the LX-Series. Maybe how many square meters have you scanned in your life? Who scanned more than 1,000 square meters? More than, only one? More than 10,000 square meters? More than 1 million square meters? Okay, so our customers scanned 50 million square meters in 1 month. I mean, all of them together is not a single guy, right? But 50 million square meters every month you scan. So that makes Frankfurt you scan in 4 months. New York City in 1 year. Something like this. So a lot of people rely on to scan a lot of square meters every month. And they have to rely on us to get the job done the first time. So the question is, why does it look like that, right? I mean, I haven't seen any other devices on the trade show so far that look like this. Have you? No, nobody will copy us, right? I mean, why should they? Now, we explain you why. So, Nils, you were very heavily involved in the design of this. Yes. Can you explain me why I look like that?
Yes, I can tell you that. So, coming back to your reply, you were actually spot on. We have a LiDAR on the top, we have a LiDAR on the bottom. The top LiDAR makes sure we have a stable slam, so he always sees the walls and every surrounding, and wherever you go, that LiDAR creates a stable slam. The lower LiDAR is actually taking care of capturing the point cloud, the stuff you later on want to have in Ivion, the stuff you want to work with when you're in all the tools you take the point cloud to. So these two were actually set once we had a lot of discussions before they were set, but at some point we were like, don't compromise on data quality, so these are the positions they have to be. So on top of the geometric data, we also wanted to have panorama images. But we don't want the operator to be in the image all the time. So obviously, let's put it above the head, so the operator is more or less hidden. Anything else? Yeah, your feedback, your reply was also about the display and the UI. Yeah, we want to give the feedback to the operator while he is scanning, what he is scanning, where he's maybe missing something, and where he needs to go back and maybe take a closer look or just rotate the device that the LiDARs actually see this area and cover them well.
Why don't you just use a smartphone?
Why I don't do a smartphone? We don't want to do a smartphone. So we never wanted to do a smartphone because we want a ready-to-go device. We want you to go to a site and not taking care about, do I have this battery charged, do I have that device with me? We want you to take the NavVis VLX box, go out, unpack it, and everything should be ready to go.
Mom, sorry, I can't talk. I'm scanning. So basically, what you want to have if you have a professional device, right? You don't want to be interrupted by a friend or anybody who's calling. You don't want that your battery runs out. You don't want to have security issues because you don't get clearance for your phone if you enter a high security facility. That means you need to have an integrated display. And it's also easier just to take it out of the box and just to start scanning and not fiddle around with your telephone. What's missing?
Did we miss something?
Yeah, somehow. So it still doesn't explain why it is like how it looks like, right? It's sitting on my shoulders, it's sitting on my hip. It feels like I'm a stormtrooper, so.
You want to shoot the lasers?
I want to shoot lasers. So here's a button to shoot lasers. No, in fact, like if you ever travel with a backpack, you know that the backpack, if you have a travel backpack, it's not only sitting on the shoulders, right? The most of the weight, so 70% of the weight, is on the hip, because this makes it ergonomically much more feasible. And what we want to achieve, and what we also achieved with this device, is that our customers are scanning 8 hours or 10 hours a day wearing this device. So on the spec sheet, you read like something like 8.5 kilograms. If you compare this to other devices, maybe you say that's heavy. But this is ergonomically built so you can wear it all day long. You are not worn down. So then we have a little bit of electronics, right? Compute unit and so on, IMU, all the stuff that has to fit somehow in it. And then we have this device. And one of the advantages of this is like you have these batteries hot swappable. So they last 1.5 hours. You scan 1.5 hours, but you can in fact scan indefinitely because you can swap out one, pack a new one in, then swap out the other one, and continue scanning. Anything else we missed on the VLX?
I mean, we have a control pointer. If you,
okay.
We know that.
I mean, guys, our customers, many of our customers are surveyors. I mean, which surveyor doesn't want to have a control point to capture control points, right? I mean, we want to have highest accuracy. There's only 2 ways with the SLAM system you get high accuracy, which is number 1. I said already one of them.
Good slam.
Control points. And second possibility is to make a. I give you a hint. I heard something. Loop closure. Yes, thanks a lot. So you visit the same site again, like after doing some scanning. Great. So what we just discussed is the 3 product principles we build our hardware products with is first data quality. Number 1 and unnegotiable, right? We do have the best data quality for a SLAM device, and nobody comes close. I can say this without being sued by anybody, right? Powers are gone, I think. Okay, so high data quality. That means great level of detail, accuracy, but also imagery, colorized point clouds. All of this we have. Okay, second, reliability. You want to ensure that if you leave your site, you don't have to come back to scan again. How do you do that? Well, first you have the live feedback, that you know what you have scanned. You have after you scanned, you can watch like on the screen like what you have scanned to be really sure before you leave the site that you have scanned it. And also you can prove to your customer with a quality report that you scanned properly, which basically gives you then residuals, etc., all the technical stuff to ensure that you can prove that you scanned properly. Reliability was the second one. So first was data quality. Second was reliability. Third one, efficiency. As I said, people work with this device 8 to 10 hours a day. It has to be efficient, it has to be ergonomic. Also afterwards, like if you post-process this data and then share it with others, to have a streamlined workflow, because in fact you don't want to spend time processing data, but you just want to upload it, forget about it, next day you have it, right? So that is another presentation that we give today or tomorrow about processing. Okay, now, what could be a potential problem with this device? None, really. Great answer. So there's no problem at all. But there are 2 things that the customers mentioned. First, they would like to travel with hand luggage only. Right? It has to go on board of the plane. Hand luggage would be great. Okay, number 1. And the second is, it's super convenient you're never in the panos, but let's be honest, in a basement where you have a low ceiling, or you want to scan, let's say, in these shelves here, it's possible. I hope I don't break the mic, but it's cumbersome. So I mean, I can do scan like this, right? But it's not something you want to do all day long. So that is why we said, okay, let's apply the same three-part principles on a much smaller form factor, which is why we introduced last year on the Intergeo the NavVis MLX, redefining handheld capture. And I think now we start with a live demo. Hopefully it works.
Yeah, so I'm sure it will work.
So
if not, we're going to all have a little fun.
You try to start the live demo. I will quickly go through the device. So we only have one LiDAR, which puts us in a tough problem, right? Because now we said like this one stabilizes SLAM, this one captures the point cloud. I mean, mainly, of course, both do both. But here we have only one LiDAR to save cost, to save weight. So that means the angle is slightly tilted. And if you have it in your proper position, kind of, yes, this shoots the laser rays above the shoulders. So you also see the back wall. So you have more chances to have like a stable SLAM. You still capture most of the geometry.
It's working, but I just got to end that slideshow.
Okay,
So
thanks.
Wow.
So then we have still like 4 cameras, because there are many of our customers use mostly the panos, because for many stakeholders it's just easier to understand a pano than a point cloud. You might have experienced this.
Maybe someone from the Technic shortly can help us how to sync that screens. I don't know.
So we still have the 4 cameras. Now, you see here 2 more cameras here on the side, like the small ones, which are basically a fallback for the SLAM. Because we know it can't be as stable as with 2 LiDARs, which are perpendicular to each other. We said, okay, as a fallback, you have the VO cameras, which allow you to take imagery to stabilize the SLAM. You still have a built-in screen. Still, we think it's super important that you have this reliability, that you don't have to rely on a third-party device like a smartphone. And you have like a harness, which allows you, again, to be able to scan the whole day. It's a small device, but it's something where it's very important to us. Our customers scan 80% of their time with the harness on. But, as you hopefully quickly see, you have the ability to be much more agile, right? You can scan between those 2 seat rows. You can scan this shelf. You can scan below this, which is much more easier than you can do with that. Oh, sorry, you're already.
Yeah, thank you very much. So what you see now here on the big screen is what you see on that small screen. So initializing is just started, and this is what it looks like when you start your scan. So we have now one LiDAR, as Michael just said, that has to do 2 jobs. So we have here 2 colors, like one color that indicates you scanned the floor, in this case, because the ceiling is up there, and behind me there's this wall. So maybe above me, I should also scan the ceiling. What I can do now, as the device is very agile, I just take it out and rotate it in the space where I am. And you can see, my screen is better, to be honest. I'm sorry. So try it out yourself later. It's much more fun than just seeing it. But you can see a lot of the area is already covered in blue, which means the ceiling is scanned and the floor is scanned. Michael also talked about the VO cams, and did you mention our SLAM recovery?
No, it's up to you.
All right, this is what I think makes live demos a lot of fun, because I'm very excited to show you actually the SLAM recovery. I think this is one of a kind feature. I have not seen it so far for in any other devices.
Make it quickly. So obviously nobody wants to have a SLAM break. Obviously, right? So, but sometimes the project, the environment is difficult for SLAM. And so that's why we built in like the VO cameras. And if you now showcase this, also that you're able to get a warning. So if you look at the green status bar on the top, you will see that it's going down to yellow if the LiDAR SLAM is not fully constrained. So basically this is a visual warning that you might go back to the green again and not just stop, continue to scan in yellow. But also, if it then completely is gone, then you will have a break, a red, and you will get a error warning. So then you can start a new data set if needed.
Okay.
Or now you can show it.
I try to show you now. So I will push the MLX in that small shelf here. Obviously too tight for the LiDAR or too dark for the VO cams to see anything. What will happen? We first go down to yellow, or maybe it's happening too fast and we directly jump to a lost slam. But what happens if I take it out? We are recovered and we're able to continue our scan without losing the data we scanned before.
So why is that so super important? Because if you lose SLAM, you want to know it, right? Because your data might just be compromised. So that is why we have like this huge red warning here that you lost SLAM. Now, we are able, often, not always, to recover again, because then the LiDAR sees again geometry that it has seen before, it knows where it is, and we can continue. So I think that's super important that we highlight this. We don't hide that SLAM is lost. We highlight it so you see it, because then, worst case, you say, okay, I have to stop the data set, I start a new one. Right? Still 10 times, 100 times better than going back to your office, realizing, damn, my SLAM was broken, I can't use the data.
Maybe we talk about images?
Images?
Yeah, because I see one camera facing me and I would not like to be in a data set all the time. So, yeah, we have these 4 cameras, just like we have on the VLX. One of them is pointing straight in my face. I don't want to be in the data set all the time. Actually, never. But what happens if I take an image, I short press the trigger button, and you can see, with a lot of lag, some kind of a Pac-Man on that screen. That indicates we just created a 270-degree image. With this image, I go to the preview, and you will see it in a second.
Oh,
you can
nice,
see
it's all of you. Yeah.
all of you. You can see that the back image is marked specially, and this indicates that in the post-processing, the operator will be detected and cut out. This cutout will then be replaced by our colored point cloud. And as you know, our quality of the colored point cloud, it's far away from a black area. So, but what happens now if Michael and me go on a site and he wants to create most of the data with the VLX, and I create the complex areas, I take care of the technical rooms where the MLX is actually well designed for. Later on in Ivion, we don't want the data to be distinguishable. We actually want to have the same data when the user has a virtual walkthrough. So in this case, I just take the device out, put it above my head, and with the long press, I can actually create a 360-degree image, and I'm here hiding it. And if you make it outside of a presentation, you can even be in that area that you're hidden. That you're hidden later on as well.
So because what you saw is that you have like these 4 pictures, right, which are taken simultaneously from the fisheye lenses. So in Ivion, all pictures are always upright. So you can take the device in any direction you want. In Ivion, you always have like upright picture to go through.
Okay, another thing.
You can, of course, take control points, I guess.
I wanted also to show you the control points, but it's hard to do actually with that mic. How to do that? If you want to create control points, you type the button that looks like a control point.
Okay, can you come over here?
You type whatever the control point is named. Go for next, and now there comes the trick. On the bottom of our MLX, there's this control point pinned. You can just flap it out, place it wherever the control point is, and save it.
So for each data set, we recommend that you have at least 3 control points to be on the safe side. Obviously, like bigger sites, you might have more of them. So again, control points help you to increase accuracy, as do loop closures. I mean, I assume that everybody's aware of roughly how SLAM works, right? So you do a loop closure, Then you have, this is again the same area, and it relates to each other, and then you have increased accuracy.
Just doing a short loop closure.
Yes. So I'm not sure, like, are there any questions before I go to the last point? Any questions about the devices on the MLX LX? So obviously this is like not a full product presentation. I mean, happy there are 20 or so of us running around here, 5 demo stations or whatever. Go there, get a proper introduction into more detail what your projects are, because in the end, of course, it matters like what you want to do with the devices, right? Not what we are doing here on stage. Just like a first guideline, first guiding 3 questions. If you want to know, like, is the MLX or the VLX the more proper device for you? Do you scan huge areas? I mean, huge, above 5,000 square meters for a project at least. Then probably a VLX is better suited. But I just talked to a customer and 18,000 square meters with the MLX, so it's not a 0-1 decision, but rather the bigger the project, the more probably you want to go with the VLX, because of size, you're just faster in having everything covered. The more confined spaces you have, obviously the MLX is a better choice because you're just like more agile. You can go above, below, and beyond objects, which is much more difficult with the VLX. And latest and last is like how much do you travel? This fits into the hand luggage, so wherever you go, if you go by bike, if you go by public transportation, if you go by plane, etc., this comes super handy if you want to reach your site and you have to travel far. All right, so thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully that showed you a little bit why our devices look differently. Because if you look around and you see handheld devices, you might think why that's looks different, right? And the reason is that nobody who says he wants to have a handheld device wants a handheld device. Who of you wants to hold something in his hand the whole day? Nobody. So if you take your mobile phone and you watch a 2-hour movie, of course you watch it like this, right? Nobody does. It's going like there, right? Why? Because just even it's 200 grams, but the weight of your arm already forbids that you hold it a long time. That means it doesn't make sense to hold the device the whole time. You only want to hold it if you want to reach areas which you can't reach otherwise. So that's why this distinct form factor for the MLX and this for the VLX to be able to scan the whole day. So guys, thank you very much. Appreciate if you have any questions, come to our guys, ask them more detailed questions. I'm here also. If you want to have this in German, wenn du das auf Deutsch hören willst, nochmal, dann komm einfach nochmal her zu mir. Okay?
Und probiert gerne aus.
Thank you very much, guys.
Try it out.
And have a nice Intergeo.